Hey, what's up again, Ridge students? During this season that we are all in, I want you to take two words and keep them at the forefront of your mind. They are perspective and faithfulness. And so let me start off by saying that as humans, I believe that we have a perspective problem. And sometimes that perspective problem is hard to overcome. See, in my opinion, there are just a few reasons as to why I believe that we have a perspective problem. And here's number one. First, we tend to view the world around us through the lens of self. We process the things going on in our lives and what is going on in the world around us based on how they impact us. Self, me, right? Second is this, is that we tend to only think in terms of recent history. And what I mean by that is this. Because our culture is so just fast paced, go, 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 run, 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 we don't stop a lot and just reflect on the story of our lives, specifically the story of our past. Because essentially our default is just to be laser focused on the here and the now and how it impacts us, self today. But see, the only problem with that is that we forget about the various ways that God has intervened, or He has stepped into our lives. He has shown up in different areas of our lives, in different seasons of our lives. And as we seek, to be the people, to be a people who have a passion and a desire and a joy for God, see, it's vital that we learn how to simply just slow down and just reflect on the many ways that God has intervened in our lives and how He has been so faithful. See, the Bible and especially in the book of Psalms, it's an amazing instruction for us on what this looks like. So much of the faith of God's people in the Old Testament is based on them reflecting on what God had done for them, how good He had been to them, on the faithfulness that He's shown to them. And so right now, I want you to think about someone in your life who you love dearly. Someone who makes you smile just thinking about them. For me, that person is automatically my wife, my beautiful wife. But see, I bet a part of your affection towards them is based on shared experiences, things that you've done. Those fun times that you've had together, or maybe even the trials that you've walked through together, and so on and so forth, right? See, it's really just no different with God, and I'm certain that you could point to specific times in your life when God showed up in a way that only He could. And see, for me, and over the past 2 weeks, God has been so faithful to keep me safe and to provide for Courtney in various different ways. So here's a story. This week, or last week, me and my cousin were working at this yard, and a tree fell on my truck out of nowhere, literally just fell out of nowhere. And my cousin was actually in the truck. And I had literally just walked around to the other side of the truck, and then it fell right after I had just walked around the truck like 2 minutes ago, and it fell right on top of where I was just standing. And so, man, it just blew my mind. It was bizarre, but like obviously, that's going to take money to fix my truck. Thankfully, no one was hurt. And so, out of nowhere, we received, Courtney and I, this financial gift that's going to help tremendously on the cost of fixing my truck. So right then, God was faithful to provide and to keep us safe. Also, Courtney and I had to pay a large amount into the IRS this year that we were not expecting. So of course, Courtney and I are just praying like, God, please, just where are we gonna pull this money from? How are we gonna pay this? And well, because God is always faithful, right? I had this landscape job that came so timely, really just kind of out of nowhere. It's going to help cover almost all of the amount that we're having to pay in. And so, man, God is so faithful, and I have found myself just thanking Him so much through this season. and my perspective is just being shifted and changed. And so my question to you is this: do you make it a point in your faith life to remember these moments that God has shown up and been faithful, and just to simply thank Him for just being good? You should, I should, we all should. And at the end of this video, I want to challenge you to do just that, just to simply just stop and say, God, thank you for being faithful in my life. The book of Psalms are full of examples of people recalling a time when God showed up in incredible, awesome ways, and they just simply just praised Him for that. And so here's just a few of those passages. Number one is Psalms 100, Psalms 111, and Psalm 77:10, verse 10 through 15. So Psalms 100, 111, and Psalm 77:10 through 15. Here's your challenge for the week. I want you to read those three Psalms. Once you read them, I want you to pick one that just really just jumps off the page at you. Just hits you really, just right where you're at. Just really impacts you. And then I want you to read it 2 more times. And as you're reading it, I want you to study it. I want you to read it slow. Focus on how the author's voice is bringing praise to God for His faithfulness. And really just pay attention to the thankfulness in their words. And next, I want you just to stop and just think about a time or times when God has been faithful in your life. Maybe it was an unanswered prayer. Maybe He brought you peace or comfort in a scary time. Maybe He's doing that right now for you. And then finally, man, just stop and pray. Just thank God for His unending faithfulness and praise Him for His faithfulness. And that He works through circumstances for His glory and for our good. Be thankful for that. And don't miss out. Man, don't miss out on opportunities just to stop and say, God, thank you for all He's done for you. Man, I love you guys, and it's been so awesome just to be able to continue to give you these messages each week. And I hope they're encouraging you. And man, just remember to stay faithful to God as He stays faithful to you. Man, stay faithful in your reading, in your studying, in your praying. And man, just keep your eyes focused on Him, because when our eyes are focused on Him, when our eyes are fixed on Him, man, our perspective begins to change. Even in a time like this, when we're asking God, like, why are you doing this? Why is this still happening? Why is this pandemic not over? Man, it's in these times when our eyes are fixed that we see that God's got a purpose in this, and He's got a plan in this for His glory and for our good. Again, I love you guys.